Hi, greetings to you. I'm Jonathan Brazer. I'm a coach here at Lifeonaire, and I've been on this Lifeonaire journey since January of 2013 when my wife and I decided to join a coaching group. And we got in like so many people thinking we were going to build our business and get it all squared away and changed and that we would have arrived. And I'll tell you, we did get plenty of that. At the time when we first got in, both of us were working full-time jobs. She was a dental assistant, and I worked in a sales career, and it required long hours. I was an absentee husband, working on being an absentee dad. As in our relationship, we found out we're pregnant, but she she saw it when we went to the event that this was something that we needed, and we decided to take it on. And I'm so glad we did, because fast forward to then 2017, the end. We'd been in for 4 years. We'd run very hard, and we had done what we set out to. We got our businesses in order. We had a real estate business that was clicking and systems in place. We had a coaching business that was thriving, and we think we've arrived. And we go to one of our events, our masterminds, that we so look forward to, that we do like 3 times a year. And so we're arriving to one of those, and we think, hey, yeah, we finally kind of made it. We've arrived and we're on coast. And weird enough, that where I think I'm arrived, that I only arrived at the start of my journey, because it was at that event that my coach challenged me. He said, I think I've been running hard. And he said, you've been doing all the easy stuff. That you're a slacker. So when are you going to start working on the real stuff, the hard stuff? And I said, what do you mean? He said, I don't know. What do I mean? So I left that retreat challenged, where, I stayed up at night sometimes thinking about it. And it was on my mind quite a bit. And I made phone calls a couple times. I said, do you think this is it? Do you think that is it? He said, I don't know, to me. His name's Chuck Bauman, my coach at the time. And he goes, I don't know. Is that what it is? You tell me. And there were a couple times I was emotional. And to tell you what I uncovered in this deep self-analysis was I uncovered some strengths and I uncovered some weaknesses. And one weakness that I realized was something I needed to work on was my temper. Is that I'd maybe push myself through life a little bit, and that maybe I was somebody who got road rage sometimes. Like somebody cuts you off, and you yell at them, or imagine yourself doing bad things to them. It disrupts your day. Sometimes that would even happen with my wife, and it happened with my children. So, in fact, it maybe happened a little more than I liked. And so what happened is I learned about a word. It was kind of a buzz at the time. Somehow it hit my radar, but the word was stoic. And I heard that it was a practice or a philosophy that many football coaches in the Super Bowl were practicing at the time, and extreme athletes were practicing this, and POWs, people were facing some challenges. And so what it was, what as I grew to investigate, what I found out about that word and what it was, is that it kind of means not being messed withable, in my words, but it's someone who can endure pain or hardship, and they can do that without showing feelings or complaining about it, for that matter, so that they can kind of stay calm even when things are heavy pressure for them. And so, like a good coach, and like I like to do as well with folks that I get the opportunity to coach, is he invited me on a journey. Chuck did. And so what we did is we started learning about being a stoic, and we started reading some books, and we did it as as a workshop kind of. We did it in a call series actually and recorded it, where you can archive it in the insiders calls here on Lifeonaire. And we did this for a year. So Stoic was our word for 2018. And what we were doing is we were learning about these ancient Greek philosophers. I mean, the first one, the kind of godfather of it all, is this guy who was a merchant, right? He's a rich merchant. He's floating around the ocean, boat full of goods, and then he's in a bad storm and he gets shipwrecked in Athens, Greece. This guy is named Zena. He's of Cyprus. Zena, Z-E-N-A. And anyway, so he gets stripped of everything in life, and he finds himself in Athens, Greece, and he finds himself in a bookstore, and he starts reading about these guys like Socrates, and he starts meeting some other Greek philosophers, and before you know it, he decides to start a school and rebuilding himself. He becomes a teacher of virtues. In fact, he taught virtues to men, and he taught them that when they sought knowledge and controlled themselves, that they became wise and then could live in harmony with each other. And that became a big word, harmony. Like some people call it, not getting their blood pressure. For me, again, it's not getting out of my zone. That's what I call it. So what this journey and learning from these Greek philosophers, and so it wasn't just Zena. We went on to learn from a guy named Marcus Aurelius, a Roman, basically conqueror. He won multiple wars, lost children, and he kept these journals all through his life. And it's just provocative, thought-evoking stuff that a guy who had the world at his fingertips, just the way he thought, thinking about the way that what might have happened on that day. And so that's the Obstacle is the Way is a book that kind of introduced us. That's the one that we started with. It's by Wolf, J. Wolf, I believe. Anyway, but it's from Ryan Holiday. It's called The Obstacle is the Way, and he he introduces you to some of these Greek philosophers. So it's a really good start. He introduces you. You learn a little bit about Seneca. You learn a little bit about Epictetus. And so these guys were practitioners of Stoicism as time went on. And so they're great quotes and great philosophies. And so what I learned while journeying in Lifeonaire is that in reinventing yourself, in building a vision and then putting it out there that's the next person that you want to be, you're looking for attributes, you're looking for virtues of people that you admire and things that you wish were in your character. And so what I didn't have, like Epictetus talks about, is he says, no man is free who is not a master of himself. And so I had times where my day would challenge me and I would get my dander raised. If I was a silverback, my back would stand up. And what was happening? Really, my blood pressure was rising, or for me, I'm getting out of my zone. And what digging in and learn about this, we created an analogy around it. My coach, Chuck Bauman, and myself, we shared something in common, and that was that we believed that both of us were sheepdogs. And that was the animal inside of us that would come out when things went astray in life. Now, sheepdogs can be great. When a wolf is present, you want to have a sheepdog around to ward the wolf off. But even when another sheepdog's around, what's interesting is a sheepdog can come against the fence with another sheepdog. They can bark, 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 and act as if they're going to kill each other, and then moments later they're across the way sniffing a bush and they're calm again. And that's how it works for sheepdogs. But what we also identified is that there's other personalities in our lives, and maybe they weren't sheepdogs, maybe they were rabbits. And what happens when sheepdogs come out and start barking is that rabbits they run and hide, and they take their young and they put them in the hole and they protect them against the sheepdog, because they think either there's a wolf present, which it's great to have them, then they're getting protected. But when that wolf's not present, they're starting to think, well, gosh, that's a dog, and he could eat us too. And so for the sheepdog, things come down really quickly. He's just right back to things. For me, I got used to that cycle happening on a weekly basis, multiple times, sometimes days, multiple times, right? But for the rabbit, things were still in disruption. You're still kind of walking around, treading lightly, guarding the children. And so I started to notice not just this kind of activity in me, but in some other folks that I knew. And I thought, man, this is something that I need to become more of a master myself in. So first I, followed the process that these guys taught, and that was start to gain knowledge about it. So I started learning from them, and basically from their philosophies. Like another quote from Epictetus is this something that is or is not in my control? It's kind of like the serenity prayer, but just as you make all your concentration be on concentrating on the thing that you can have effect in. So it taught me also to train myself to be less prone to overreacting. So by kind of challenging my temperance, challenge my resilience. So you're wondering, like, how did I do that? So I'll just tell you, it's not like, though I did run some Spartan races, it's not like Spartan boys who were whipped at young ages in order to make them hard for battle. But it was a similar concept. I wanted to challenge myself to become harder, or like a guy like David Goggins, if anybody's read him, might say more calloused of mind, calloused of emotional strength. And so I'm beginning to learn about these guys and making this a concentration of a whole year, and then learning it in a way to share it with other folks that might have it. I can tell you that a guy who used to maybe get out of control or out of his zone, it might have happened multiple times, like I said, a week, multiple times a day. In 2018, it happened only twice. The sheepdog only came out twice because I was concentrating on being better and making myself better. But what I really want you guys to realize is the gift that's in this is I didn't plan to come work on myself, the sheepdog and bully inside me. I got involved with a group like this of folks, not to be a better dad or necessarily to be a better husband. I hoped really to be a better businessman. And that happened early in, like wore off on me. We're having success like crazy, but it allowed me to get to a place that allowed me to work on more important things, kingdom things, like who am I really and why was I like that? What can I do to continue to get better every day? So the bonus I have for you is be ready to be surprised. And I offer that if anybody that you're going to get a bonus more than you bargained for. You may have gotten involved for this reason, but you're going to be surprised at the extra that you get. And it's been super beneficial to my life, probably my blood pressure. It's been super beneficial to my wife. We can have a lot better conversations, a lot stronger relationship. She doesn't have to hide in a hole for as long. And I look forward to not passing this on to my children. So I want to thank you guys for listening to me. If any of you guys want to learn a little bit more, they got plenty, but I only had a little while to share. But, I should probably tell you this. Here's some of the ways, and not just the Spartan race, that I challenged my resilience, was this. I took cold showers. I know that that's weird, but people do it by fasting, whether food or other things in their life. I had a student who he ate beans and rice for an entire month, slept on his porch. And he just wanted to challenge himself. He wanted to take away some things so that he was resilient. He knew he can handle it. I could tell you the thing about taking that cold shower in the morning is it hurts. I don't know whether you've been in cold water very much, but that cold therapy, it has a lot of benefits, but you're not thinking about any of them when it's hitting you, when it's on you. And so we developed a chant because my son is doing it too, and it goes like, "This is," and we may have adopted it from somebody, but "This is the pain I choose. This is the pain I choose." And what that helps to do is callous us for the pain that we face that we don't choose. Or if we have a camping trip and there's only cold water, that's not the worst because we've faced that before, which actually did happen this year. So that's one of the ways that we use to build temperance, not just Spartan races, but challenging ourselves, taking the steps instead of the elevator or parking a little farther away. And so, they say that some of these philosophers, they say that a gem cannot be polished without friction, and that a man cannot be perfected without trials. So we have to challenge ourselves a little bit to be better, and better in ways that we didn't know that necessarily we needed to. So I encourage you all to continue to get better. And if you'd like to talk more on this subject, then reach out to me. I'm Jonathan at Lifeonaire.com. Thanks for your time, and happy holidays to you all.